It only takes one sip of an ice-cold summer drink from McDonald's to get you from cleaning the kitchen to paddleboarding on the ocean and having a dolphin swim up to you who leads you to a secluded island where you meet your soulmate who says,
those dishes won't do themselves.
With so many flavors, where will your sip take you?
This summer, come to McDonald's and try a refreshing $2 small McCafe drink, like a frozen strawberry lemonade or a $1 any size soft drink. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Welcome to Define You Radio, the place to be for real talk and real tips to help you define your personal and professional life. Class is in session with your host, the Southern Belle of Bold, Valencia Griffin-Wallace. Pens and papers ready. Class is now in session.
Hello, and welcome to Define You Radio. Classes in session, where you get the life tips, strategies, and more to teach you how to define life on your own terms. I am your host, the Southern Belle of Bold, Valencia Griffin-Wallace. Make sure you are subscribed and connected to all things Define You, including Define You Movement, where classes in session 7 days a week. You can find out more at valenciagwallace.com. Now, you guys have to excuse me. I am doing something new as I define life on my own terms and took a Krav Maga class. Now, you have to Google that if you want to know what it is, but basically I'm learning self-defense and all of the above. It's exciting. I'm worn out, or as I say, whipped and nay-nayed out. So good thing it is a Hot Seat Tuesday. And I am drinking coffee out of my hashtag no filter cup because guess what? I have my fabulous co-host, Shannon, on the line. Shannon, how you doing today?
I am fabulous, and how are you?
I'm whipped and nay-nayed out. I'm probably going to pass out directly after the show. I'm always doing some weird stuff.
Well, yeah, and you said, as soon as you said Krav Maga, you know I had to go ahead on and Google it. So, European boxing, wrestling, street fighting mix. Okay.
Basically, it's very interesting because unlike the kickboxing class where you just hitting a bag, you're like having contact, like a person will have a thing in front of them, but you're hitting it. And because, as speakers and writers and stuff, we travel a lot, especially by ourselves. So I want to know that if someone tries to attack me, I will be the last person they will ever try to attack.
Understood.
So my husband just got in from work, and I told him, he was like, well, what did you learn? Oh, I'm going to show him. So if y'all are friends with my husband on Facebook, just know that he asked to see what I learned today. And I want to shout out to of course, Shannon, who was one of the fabulous authors in the book, but you guys know Through the Valley released last Tuesday and still holding #1 hot new release. Yay!
Yes.
That was, so if y'all don't have your copy, I suggest you go to bit.ly/ Lord have mercy, TTV 2018 and get your copy. It's been an exciting 2018, and the hot seat is really doing some great things. And this month, because y'all know, like I kind of started doing like naming the month. So this month is asking permission, or not asking permission, so to speak. So that's the kind of flow of this month. But like I said, it's hot seat Tuesday. Congratulations to Shannon on so many things that she's doing. Lyvonne will be joining us later. But Shannon is up for several awards. If y'all follow her, y'all know she is like amazing times 10. Her information is on the Define You Radio's page. But you could also just go to Facebook and type in Shannon Shadon Ward.
Right.
#Amen. Now,
Amen.
today is going to be a really interesting show because y'all know we talked about relationships a couple of weeks ago. We talked about why buy the cow if the milk is free. We've talked about relationships a lot. And so tonight we are honored to have a beautiful, young, smart, intelligent lady, Miss Patricia, joining us because she is an expert. Because y'all know we just been adding our 2 cents and our opinions. But Miss Patricia is an expert. And just to tell you a little bit about her, and Shannon, I hope you have your questions ready. Like I said, I have my #NoFilter coffee cup. But
you know I got my pen and paper ready because I might need some tips.
Right. Miss Patricia is the founder of Dating Diamonds, a service that empowers women to meet the right man the second time around. She is the creator of the First Date to Soulmate program. Since 2008, she has helped over 500 women to meet the right man by designing a personalized plan that she helps them implement. So, Shannon, I guess I won't have to do the arranged marriage with you, okay?
Please don't. Look at Jesus. Won't he do it? Won't he do it?
Now, something very interesting about Miss Patricia, she has been married for 40 years.
Wow.
I have questions because, I'm still fresh in this game. I got, 3 years in this marriage, and Lyvonne has 25. But I want to know how we could start knocking them anniversaries down so I get to the real gifts. Because every year is like a different themed gift. Yeah, what year marriage is the new house or the condo, the diamond, But I'm very interested to hear what Miss Patricia has to say. So let's go ahead and welcome Miss Patricia to the show. Hey, Miss Patricia, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, Valencia. How are you?
I'm doing great. I am catching my breath. Catching my breath.
Yes. I'm happy to be here. This is great fun. I can see it now.
Yes, Miss Patricia, and I'm so glad to have you on because me and the other co-host, Lyvonne, who will be joining us after a while, maybe it was just me. I'm not going to put it on Lyvonne, but I love Shannon. I've been knowing her for a while. I look at her like, my baby sister, so to speak, because she's younger than me, and she's such a sweet soul. So I was really just going to do an arranged marriage for her.
I see.
What are your thoughts about that?
Well, how old is Miss Shannon? Is she just 18?
Oh, Miss Patricia, do you want me to put my government on the radio like that?
Well, if she were 18, I'd say go ahead and help her out like that. But it sounds like she's a mature woman, and so I would love for her to be very, very clear on what she wants to experience in that relationship, should she want one. And in my work, what I do is I help women get clear on what they want to feel and what they want to experience, and then we can work the plan so that they meet those kinds of men and know how to talk to them and develop the relationship with those kinds of men. And I help them identify those kinds of men from all the rest, because men will give you clues about who they are and what their intentions are. But it's up to women to know what they want, and they don't have to make it happen. They just have to know what they want. And in my work, I support them to just get in alignment with the laws of the universe, which might sound kind of celestial, but the way the world is, the universe is set up, all we have to do as people is know what we want, and it will say, is this what you want, my dear? And give us more of it. So when we focus on what we want, that's when things start to get exciting, instead of what we don't want, which A lot of people do because they don't really know the difference at this point in time.
Right, and I've heard that a lot just in life in general. If you focus on what you do want versus what you don't want, you know, those things you do want will come to you. So do you find that a lot of times women aren't clear with what exactly they want? Like, what's the problem? Because we have a lot of, you know, single and divorced women, you know, and so a lot of women these days don't even want to be in a relationship, you know. So do you think it's that women aren't exactly clear with what they want?
I think that's it. And the way the laws are set up for the universe, when we don't want something, that's telling us what we do want. And so what's happening is we're attracting sometimes what we want, sometimes what we don't want. And so there's just kind of a mixed up, inconsistent mess that we create. But when we get really, really clear on what it is that we really want, that's when things start to get exciting. Now, I've heard women say that they don't really need a man and they don't really want a relationship, but there is that other side of the coin, which is telling me that they would enjoy a relationship if it were on their terms. So it's about what are their terms so we can start to make things happen. So if we take a look at what is it that I want, if a woman says, what is it that I want to experience in this relationship? Do I want to feel pampered and privileged and taken care of and spoiled, or what is it that the feeling that you want to experience? For example, I've always wanted to feel that I had a partner who had my back and that I could depend on the partner and be taken care of and, you know, just feel that he had his arms around me, even though I can take care of myself. I always wanted that feeling of being provided for. And so as a result of that, that's what I focused on and that's what I got. So anybody who did not give me that feeling was not in the running for my affections. And so basically that feeling is the most powerful thing that people can get clear about. Instead of saying, I don't really need a man or what have you. Mm-hmm.
It's more focusing on what you want. So, Shannon, since you're on the line, you partially in this hot seat. Do you know, like, I love what Miss Patricia just said because I knew I wanted to feel secure, and I know what that looks like. I wanted to feel secure. I wanted to feel supported. I wanted a man who knows the rules of being a man, like taking out the trash, knowing stuff about the car, those kinds of things. Even though I know that stuff, I knew I didn't want one of these new men that go get their feet done and their nails done. I knew I did not want that. But, have you thought about, like, how you want a man, to make you feel? Have you thought about that? That's a good question.
I actually have. And it's so funny that Ms. Patricia said that because, I listened to one of Bob Proctor's books about, the law of attraction and attracting the mate that you want and those things, and focusing, like Ms. Patricia said, focusing on what you want and being very, very specific. And so even one of the things that he had listed was like to draw like a circle, type my husband or the man that I want, or write my husband or my man that I want in the middle of the circle, and then from that circle do like sun rays out of all the things that you want, as far as, height, children, all of those things. So I've actually drilled that down, and I'm adding stuff or taking stuff away like regularly. So how he. So I believe, and it could be probably need some tweaking, but I believe I'm pretty specific. Like I said, even down to the fact that I would like him to be able to like to watch horror movies, because I like horror movies and I don't want to watch them by myself. So, I mean, some people that's petty, but I mean, I was being as specific as I could. Now, was that too specific, or like, should those things even matter? I mean, I got the height between 5'8" and 6'2", because I want to be able to to look up. You know, those things matter to me. You know, a man that's patient, so passionate, supportive, humble, yet bold and strong. All of those things are written down. So I don't know, maybe I'm not specific enough, or, you know, or maybe too specific.
I don't think it's a question of being too specific or not specific enough. I'm going for what is the feeling that you want to experience. So Valencia and I were talking about, we wanted a man. Well, she said she wanted to feel that he knew men's things, and that he could provide that quality, those roles, so she wouldn't have to do it, is what I've heard underneath all of that. But and you're giving me all these specifics, but I don't pick up any feeling about these things. What does it boil down to? Do you want to feel pampered, taken care of, that you have an intellectual partner? I mean, you know, is there an experience that you want to have with these qualities that you have named?
Oh, she got me digging deep, y'all, digging deep. Okay, so so I would say, yes, I want to feel protected. I want to feel secure, and I'll say that, and to add that, I'll say that because for me, having been a single mom all my son's life, 10 years pretty much, I need to feel secure that I can release some of the burdens and some of the things that I've been carrying, having to take care of everything by myself, and release it to someone and know without having to question that they've got it. And I mean, if I'm going to be transparent, I want to feel as if I'm the only woman he wants. That I don't have to question, you know, if every woman he's walking past, if he's trying to grasp her number, if he's trying to, you know, every woman he talks to, I want to be able to feel that, you know, that nobody else matters. I got you. You're all I need. Feeling from him.
Aha! Now we're talking gold here. So with that particular clarity, then that is what you can start to look at to help the universe give you that. Because the whole thing is set up like what you focus on is what it gives you, because it wants you to be happy. So the minute you ask for something, the universe gives it to you. There's this delay time, though, that comes because we block it with some negative feeling, or we haven't caught up with what we said we wanted, or, you know, there's always a lag time because we've been around the planet for maybe more than 2 or 3 years. And so we've had experiences that have frustrated us or made us angry or sad or whatever. And so it's about having that strategy that allows us to direct our thoughts into a more positive, elevated place, so the universe can say, oh, you feel happy when I do this, so I'll give you more of it. So that's where the rubber hits the road, is managing the thoughts, managing the feelings, managing the attitudes to know that it's going to happen. It's kind of like, you know, if I said to you, Shannon, we are going from Phoenix to L.A. across the desert, and we got in the car, and you had the feeling, okay, all I have to do is sit in this car and drive and get gas now and then, and eventually I'm going to get to L.A. But if you change your mind and get 20 miles outside of Phoenix and do a U-turn because it's too hot, or you come up with some other reason why you're not going to L.A., which would be your man, your passion, the relationship you just described, then you won't get him because you keep changing your mind and reversing what you said. So that's the other part of the lagged time, is that mind-changing thing where we lose faith or we feel despair.
Well, Miss Patricia, let me ask you this: as Shannon meditates on and marinates on what you just said,
which I am.
I know. Y'all know classes in session, pens and papers ready always. When a woman gets or man gets clear on what they want, should they get as specific as height, weight, job title? Like, should they get that specific, or should it be focused on how that person makes me feel, regardless of their height, weight, job title, so on and so forth?
In my experience, women can be as specific as they want. Excuse me. But it's the feeling and the attitude that is the most powerful driver in getting what you want. So you can be specific. There's an example of a friend of mine whose daughter wanted to work 6 weeks teaching Italian in the summer times, and she wanted to do it at the first part of the summer so she could be home the rest of the time. And so she got very clear that this is what she wanted, and she did the process, of meditation and positive thinking, and she was talking to her Italian teacher in Italian because they're both fluent, and the Italian teacher said, they need a teacher to do that for this university program, and I'll recommend you. It's just a formality because you got the job. So she ended up teaching in 6 cities the Italian in the first part of the summer, just exactly as she had envisioned it. She had the picture in her mind of how she wanted to experience it and how she wanted to feel just free and powerful in doing what she wanted to do that summer. So that's specific, right? 6 cities, 6 weeks in Italy doing Italian, getting paid, going home so you can enjoy the rest of the summer. You can't get more specific than that. So it's not the specificity, it's the attitude that it is the law, and what you ask for, you're getting. It's just you have to allow it into your life. That's the big challenge for women, is to allow their blessings, because there's always, always, always a stream of well-being coming toward us. And we step out of it when we think thoughts like, that'll never happen for me. It happened for her, but it won't happen for me. Well, you've stepped out of the stream. So there has to be an openness to say, yes, it's coming to me. I am open to it. So it's just the attitude is all important.
I know, and I've posted this vision board before. I will have to find it one day and repost it. But when me and my husband were dating, because I do vision boards every year, sometimes more than one. If you know me, you know. Shannon, don't laugh. But I actually put a picture of my husband when we were dating on the vision board, and I put happy, healthy relationship. And that was it. I didn't put this will be my future husband or anything else. I just focused on having a happy, healthy relationship with him. And I also, that's something I also do with my son's picture. As he was growing up and everything is put him on there in a happy, healthy relationship, great communication, blah, blah, blah with my son. And I would like to think that because I went into those relationships sort of, with that thinking that I just want this to be a happy, healthy relationship. I want us to travel. I want us to date, enjoy each other, and it literally led into marriage. But that was my primary focus when me and my husband was dating, was just to have a happy, healthy relationship. And I knew for me what that looked like. Someone that was a great example for my son, a man's man that could teach him man stuff and made me feel like a lady, and that's what I got, and I married him. And, I tell this story all the time. When me and my husband started dating, both of us said we were never getting married again because both of us had did it. But we were focused, and I love that you said that, on the feeling we wanted, and then ended up married. Do you recommend a vision board for a relationship?
I recommend a vision board or any other practice. I have many of them, exercises to help people get clear on what it is they want to experience, what they want to feel, what the best attitude is to help them get what they want. And so a vision board is very, very cool. I've used them myself to go to various vacation spots that I would never take the time to go to otherwise. And, I find myself stepping off the plane, So vision boards
Shannon,
are
you
very,
got homework.
very powerful. Yeah.
I'm writing. Trust me, I'm writing.
But it's crazy. My husband is the only man that has ever been on a vision board. It's just crazy just kind of thinking about those things of when I really focus on what I do want instead of I don't want a man like my last one. And I'm pretty sure that's one of the roadblocks that women set up instead of, thinking I want a man who makes me feel like a lady, and what that means to them is I don't want a man like that, I don't want a man like that. It's a lot of don'ts, and that's like a mental / emotional roadblock.
Exactly, and the universe, as I said, wants us to be happy and gives us what we want and ask for, and we don't have to use words. You don't have to say anything like, "Oh, I want this" or "I don't want that." It's about what you're thinking, what you're feeling. It's kind of like there's just no privacy when it comes to the universe giving you what you want. So you're asking when you have a feeling or when you have an image or when you actually use words. So it wants us to be happy. And so if we focus on what we don't want, they say, "Oh, that's what you want? We'll give you more of that." And then we go, "Oh, my God, why is it that I'm always getting this kind of guy or meeting that kind of guy?" It's because that's where your focus is. So it's just about knowing the world that we live in and aligning with the way it really works instead of the way we think it should work.
So I have a question.
Go ahead,
Shannon.
After
I had to say,
no, go.
I had to say ouch a couple times. So, now, you listen to people, and to some degree, I can possibly agree with it, but based off what you're saying, it kind of almost goes out the window, but I just want to ask. So there are those of us women that are strong-willed. Like I said, we've had to do it, so it's almost hard to allow someone else in. Do you think that those are things that we need to change, or, because to some degree I can see it, like I said, but then the other side of it is like, that's part of who makes me who I am. But at the same time, people say, well, no, a man doesn't necessarily want a woman like this, a woman like that. Do you think when it comes to the law of the universe and the law of attraction, do you think that really matters at all?
What I have experienced is that men and women relationships, intimate personal relationships, are different from a woman having to go into the work world and to get her career going and to carve her way. The energy is different. So just know that it's a different situation. It's a different, so it requires a different format, a different attitude. It's kind of like going out on a date and wearing pantsuits and being in the masculine energy of taking care of business, and when you go out to a restaurant on a date, you're the one who orders, you're the one who pays, you're the one who calls all the shots. If you are a woman who is in management or who is accustomed to taking charge and making things happen in her career, that energy is fine for that arena. But on a date, it's more of a traditional situation. That is traditional before we had women's lib, when women started working and earning similar amounts of money to men. And so it's kind of like women are more successful on a date if they play the more traditional role. Because even though we've had all of these evolutions and changes in our society and politically for women and men to be equal, when it comes to love and relationship, guys are very traditional for the most part, especially the ones in the age group that I'm discussing the second time around. They're generally 40 plus, and they are used to being in charge. They're used to calling up the woman, pursuing, and doing all of those male things. And so that's what they're comfortable with. And when a woman takes charge in the way she would in her career, it's kind of off-putting for this kind of man.
Wow. Everybody wrote that down. So this is my question. Do you think women have a hard time turning that off? That part, that take charge, because I've been a single mom, and I'm still a very, strong woman, strong personality. I think if somebody said what's the one word to describe Valencia strong, probably would be that word. Mm-hmm. But I had to learn, and, I've said this before, I had to learn how to be a wife. And that was, I had to learn basically how to turn, I don't want to say turn that Valencia off, but basically turn that Valencia off. Which it took me, several relationships to learn that masculine, I don't want to call it masculine energy, but that take charge, gung-ho, I'm every woman, I'm going to take everything, I'm going to, hunt the pig and make the bacon, put it on the table. I had to learn how to turn that off. Do you think that's a real problem these days with the average woman?
I think you might have hit something on the head there. I think because women have been in a position where they have to take care of themselves and children and their house and everything, and especially if they're single moms, they are just in that mode of taking care of business, taking care of home, making sure that everybody is taken care of. And so when it comes to the intimate personal relationship, it's very difficult to turn that off unless you're aware that you don't have to turn it off, you just have to tweak it a bit. And I believe that instead of being the take charge woman, in a date, even now after 40 years, guess who makes the arrangements for our dates? He knows what I like. He knows the restaurants I like. So, when it comes time for date night, he says, so shall we go to restaurant A or restaurant B? And sometimes I say, well, honey, you choose. And he will. And sometimes I'll say what I want. But I've learned that it's better to ask questions like, what do you think about this? Or I ask him for advice, even though I have my own answers. I still want to hear what he has to say because he inevitably has a different perspective on it that I didn't think about. And so there's this blending of wisdom and knowledge. So it's just a process of learning that I get more of what I want in the relationship when I am sweet and kind and I ask questions instead of just saying this is what we're going to do. Or I say, what do you think, honey? Or those kinds of things. So the bottom line is when you want to be in a relationship where you are happy and you want to feel protected, then it's best to be able to present yourself in a way so that he can protect you. If you come across too, I got this, I don't need you, etc., you can't protect that. There's nothing to protect.
Wow.
There's nothing to provide for. It's like being with another dude, you know.
Lord, I'm trying to write. I can't even write fast enough.
You can't write. You're going to have to go back and listen to the show, Shannon.
But
Miss Patricia is dropping the mic and some wisdom and knowledge, but everything she says, I can act like I could put a stamp on, because that when I talk about learning how to be a wife, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Because I've been independent the majority of my life, so I've had to be strong. So in turn, me being strong, I've attracted before men that I had to still be strong for, because I wore that S on my chest. I got this, right? And so I attracted men, and then I would end up feeling drained, like, hold up, you're the man in this relationship. But I stepped in basically with a quote-unquote male energy, like I got this regardless of what you do, I got this. And even if I verbalized it or not, it was very much the energy I had. And it's so crazy just thinking about how you learn lessons without even thinking you're learning them. Mm-hmm. But I knew I was tired of being every woman and man. You know? Like I didn't, if I was the man and the woman, I wasn't going to be in a relationship. So I knew I wanted a man as simple as taking the trash out. You know, I didn't want to be, like I was tired. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you just get tired being a single mom, or even if you're not a single mom, audience, you know, you have to be everything, and you know, and so turning that off or tweaking it, like Miss Patricia said, you do have to learn that, because at the end of the day, you know, like Miss Patricia said, you know, you're not giving him nothing to protect. You know, if you want security, but you're not allowing the man to do that, then, you know, why is he there? I'm pretty sure men will get to like, why am I here? You got it. And we see this time and time again in relationships. That's my 2 cents.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a quite wise 2 cents. It really is.
And audience, if you are on live, I see we do have a couple of people that's on live, which is always awesome. You can press 1 if you have any questions or comments for Miss Patricia, me, or Shannon. We'd love to hear your thoughts about dating and you know, the second time around, and really learning those things. And Miss Patricia, one of the things, do you think being Southern as I am, do you think it's a difference in versus someone, a young lady being raised in the South versus a young lady being raised, you know, like I call upstate, you know, because, you know, do you think it's a difference, like, you know, in the value system of what a wife is or a woman's role, so to speak? And I know that almost sounds a little sexist, but I'm old school. I do believe that there's a woman's role and a man's role. What are your thoughts? Because I know you have a lot of clients. Do you see it's a difference, so to speak, in location or their region with the mentality of women?
Well, I see across the board that today's modern woman that I work with is a very strong personality, and she's a take-charge kind of gal. She's in management. She's in sometimes in the CEO suite, and that thing that we have just discussed of, personal relationship, how that approach differs from the workplace is a situation that is here in California where I am, as well as women who, any time a woman has to be both man and woman and take care of children and earn the living and so on and so forth, she tends to have to be very strong and take charge because there's nobody else that has her back. And so when it comes to an intimate personal relationship, that is where I spend a lot of my time supporting people to say, okay, how's that been working for you? And when you go out on dates, and it generally hasn't been working for them. Some women are approaching dates like one is a financial advisor. She actually sits down with her little pad and she's asking men how much they make, and she's like taking down information on their investments, and it's not working for her. She's a beautiful woman, but it's not working for her because no man wants some woman sitting down asking him how much he makes on a date. It's just not going to work out. So it's about learning to tweak that strong energy into just toning it down so that she is more feminine. She is learning to approach a man in a different way. Still, in 2018, men enjoy being the center of attention. Anytime a woman can do that as she's learning, if he has the same values as in that first date, she's about to have a second date. Because it doesn't happen that much. We have been trained to, and when I say we, I'm meaning women who are career women who are accustomed to taking care of everything. We have been trained to take care of everything, even on a date. It's not the place to take care of everything. It's a place to relax, to have fun, to see if you like this guy enough through talking to him and through how you feel with him to see if you want a second date. And then the second date is about seeing if you want to continue getting to know him. And so every succeeding date is about learning if this is the guy that you want to spend more time with. That's the question. And so to do that, it's about helping him feel happy in your presence, and he will reveal his true self to you. You'll know if he's faithful. You'll know if he's a player. You'll know all that stuff that you need to know that may have hurt you in the past when you know how to talk to him. And you can save yourself a whole lot of time. But you can't do it by going in and being the take-charge woman, because it doesn't work that way. There's the paradox. So what I do is I support women to play the role of the woman, the one who is relaxed, the hostess, the one who is able to talk to a fella just to get him to be relaxed and comfortable with her, so he will reveal his true colors, and she can make a decision if she wants to go further or if she wants to say, well, I have a friend you might want to meet, and, cut it short.
So now here's a question I ask. I don't ask on the first date, but maybe the third.
But
because I'm a
second and a half.
Right. I'm a firm believer in not wasting time. Yes. I'm not going to keep dating if you don't have the same intention. So I do ask, would they like to be married, or if they've been married, would you get married again? Now, if they say no, then at that point for me it's a no-go. Should I not be asking that so soon? Should I fall back a little on that one? Because I know I'm not the only woman that does this. So I know quite a few women myself that's like, absolutely, we need to ask them because I'm wasting time. And, you know, time is precious. I'm trying to find my husband. I don't got time to waste on no joker that ain't trying to be my husband.
Yes. Well, I certainly understand why women would want to do that as soon as possible. But there is more time. You have more time. You don't have to just jump on the man like that and find out if he. Now, this is what I'm saying. The approach I would like women to know is that I'm wanting you to be very clear, first of all, on what you want to experience. How are you going to know what you can experience with the guy if you don't spend some time with him? You know, personal, intimate relationships are not instant. So on the first date, what I do is I support women to, with their plan, their strategy, of what they're going to talk about on that first date. And generally it's values. And that thing about long-term relationship is a very important value to get to know. But you don't have to just slap him in the face with it directly. You can ask him questions around, you know, relationships, or who's his favorite aunt, or finding out what made him happy as a boy, and so on and so forth. And you'll start to get a feeling when you're listening and tuned in about what makes this guy happy, what makes him different, what makes him tick, right? And now you can, and in the dates that follow, you're finding out if you have similar values, right? Or maybe in that same date. It depends on how fast you want to work. All I'm doing is asking women to be softer, to have a softer approach, because we've been taught, we've been trained to take charge and be the man. And I know that we can do that, and I'm wanting women to take charge, but in a softer approach kind of way. You know, if you have sons, when they come home from school and you want to find out how their day was, how is it that you make them feel comfortable enough to tell you? Because if you come on too strong, I've had my grandson say, nothing. You know, they don't want to talk about it because the energy is too hard. It's like slapping them in the face. But if you say, so, how did it go for you today? You know, in that kind of way, is casual, lighthearted, they might tell you. So I'm just talking about approaches to get to this bottom line, which is, does this guy share values with you? Do you have chemistry with him? Do you want to have another date with him? And so when women come across as, do you want a long-term relationship on the first date, he doesn't know. He doesn't know you. You don't know him. Because relationships take time, right?
And may I add also, Shannon, this no turned into a yes. This no, like real talk, this no that me and my husband established, like, first, second conversation, that we did not want to get married again. We weren't interested in doing that. Not at all. Can turn into a yes.
It certainly can.
So write that down.
Yeah.
You know,
I got it.
But that's so interesting, because I know, you know, like Shannon said, I know a lot of women, you know, and some men, because we discussed that, I think, on the last hot seat. You know, sometimes it's the man that wants to get married, and the woman is just like, no. But I think that's so interesting. I think in a lot of women, I could see where, you know, if a single woman at my age, I would want to know that, look, I'm trying to get married because I'm not trying to die by myself with 10 cats. Or do you want to get married? Not saying necessarily to me. So I could see where that is a important question, but I love how I do love Miss Patricia's response to that. do you think women, if you just look at how times have changed over the years, that we went from being taught how to care for a household? For instance, like growing up, you had your kitchen set, you had your easy bake oven, you had all these things that kind of taught you, and we could talk about that kind of stuff, programming your child at a young age or whatever, but, kind of taught you how to be a wife and a mom. And nowadays, little girls aren't really, I don't know if little girls really, I don't think my nieces have anything like that. So what are your feelings about that, Miss Patricia? You think that's why women kind of got hard and have to be kind of taught how to be soft?
I think the environment has changed women's perspective a lot, and, if a woman finds herself responsible for a child or two, she just has to take care of business. She has to feed her baby. She has to provide shelter for them. She has to educate them. And so she is just on, I got this kind of energy, right? And so if she's been raising the babies herself alone, and not had anybody there as a partner, then what else can she do? Because she wants them to thrive. She wants them to do well, so she has to do it all. What I'm saying is that, yes, women, it has to be pointed out to the ladies that I work with that you don't have to do it all. If you're going into an intimate personal relationship, the reason you want to go into the intimate personal relationship is that you want to be with a man, a fella that you really, really, really like, and you want to enjoy him, and you want to enjoy each other, and you want to have fun together. So the question becomes, how can you have fun? You're not going to have fun if you're the take-charge gal who's in charge, always doing the asking, always doing the pursuing, always doing the taking care of business thing. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And so what does work? What works is being more of the soft, traditional woman who you know that you can manage the relationship through questions and through suggestions. You never have to take charge. And eventually the man will think that he had that thought that you suggested. and it doesn't matter whose thought it was as long as it gets done. That's my philosophy. So, yes, I think women need to be aware that we are so powerful that we don't have to slap a man upside the head to get him to do what we want. We just don't. We can just be softer. We can just ask the question. We can say, could you help me? And I'd be really happy if you would do A, B, or C. Because quiet as it's kept, men really want to please us. They just don't know how to do it. They don't. They're not psychic, So we have to help them. As my little grandson says, we have to help them.
We have to help them.
So
Side
when
note,
we
catch
say
more
things like
flies with honey. You catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. So if you think of the man as the fly, I'm just saying. I don't know if my husband is listening to this show or not, but think of the man as the fly.
Mm-hmm.
So Shannon, you and listeners, you ought to be dripping syrupy sweet. I'm just saying. I'm not the expert here. I'm just saying. And but
so
you know,
it's drip syrup.
Just drip sweetness, like sweetness. But that is like all true. And I just got a text message from one of the listeners who she just says yes. I mean, I guess she agree with what's being said. And I definitely know that transition, so to speak, from, because being a mom is natural, right? Like, this thing came out your body. It's like you know how to do stuff you can't even read in books. You know the differences in your baby's cry, and you learn them, and you grow with them. And in a relationship, I think that has to be, like, being a mom is natural. Being in a relationship with someone else has to be learned. I had to learn it because I didn't see it. And I think that's part of the issue, too, is that when a lot of times when you don't see it, or, you know, if you look at social media or whatever, let's say, because that's what the young ladies, the 20-year-olds and everything else, they're looking at the relationships being posted now, you know, so they're thinking that, okay, this is not going to happen in this way, so I'm going to just be a hashtag boss queen, I got this woman. And, you know, honestly, if a man sees that on their page, be like, oh, well, no, that's not what I want. It's very interesting as we start winding down the show. This time went by fast. But I do have a question, Ms. Patricia, because being the mom that I am of a very handsome, I tell him he's prime real estate, and any girl would be lucky to have him.
Yes.
My son is 21. He is. I'm telling you, but, you know, my friends and, you know, including the one that's on the show, say I cannot do an arranged marriage for him. That's up for debate. But I told him, you know, that with what he's going to school for and the type of job that he's going to have, he really needs a woman that knows how to be a woman and that is content with, you know, content and happy with staying at home and building a home for him. And I keep telling him this. And
Miss Patrice, let me tell you what I told her, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I said to her, I don't think that that's really a probability, because from my looking at, like, my brothers and different things, men tend to gravitate towards what they saw in their mother. And he can't have a go-getter mother like Valencia and feel okay and going to feel okay with somebody just at home and just taking care of that, because he's not used to that. That's not what he's used to seeing and a woman doing. So now I could be wrong, but, yeah, I think she's shooting for the stars on that one.
Well, I think the compromise is that he can get a go-getter woman who can hire a housekeeper, and he can have it all, you know. So they're both working. They can afford a third person to take care of that house.
There it is.
I guess it's to be determined. We've discussed his future at length, even to the type of women he's dating and these girls that call him what they learned at home.
Lord help him.
Maybe I should have had another kid or adopt a kid or something, because I'm telling you, me and my son talk at length, and I throw my 2 cents in there, and it's my 2 cents, but I make valid points, I think, and we're just gonna leave that alone.
Okay. All right.
Miss Patricia, as we start winding down the show, we literally have like minutes left. What one tip would you like to give to the men and women that want to go want to find their soulmate, so to speak? They want that happy, healthy relationship. What's the one tip you could leave with the audience today?
I would love for the audience to talk with me, because everybody's different and individual. I would love to let them know that I have a 15-minute free chat if they want to hear more about my ideas on how they can date their right man or date their right woman the second time around. I'm available. They can shoot me an email at Patricia at datingdiamonds.com, and I'll send them a link to that free chat, and we can just chat and see where they are.
Awesome, Shannon. Make sure you get that link.
I got 15-minute free chat, Patricia at datingdiamonds.com. I got you.
Great.
And then after you talk to Miss Patricia, you should be calling me because I want to know what was said.
How did I know that was coming? How did I know?
You know, look, you know it because that will be the next hot seat and everything.
Lord.
I know. I'm all in your business. You and my son, I'm all in y'all business. I still have not put the idea out of my head of arranged marriages. I just want that out there, listening audience. I'm going to find out how to make it a law. I'm just saying, Miss Patricia, you are just utterly awesome. I can't wait to have you on the show next month.
Yes.
I will have a whole show with Miss Patricia where she's really going to get into the books she wrote. She's going to we're going to talk more about the roadblocks. We're going to get some of y'all married, even if I have to arrange it myself.
Lord,
I'm going to set up a dating website, Arranged Marriages by Valencia.com. I'm just saying. I'm going to leave that alone. Miss Patricia, thank you so much for being on the show. Guys,
it was my pleasure.
Don't forget to connect with the guests. If you go to Define You Radio on Facebook, Miss Patricia's information will be posted there. And if you have hashtag relationship goals, take advantage of those 15 minutes. A lot of you guys, I know you have learned. Stop asking people if they want to get married over the appetizer of date one. I'm just saying.
Sorry, I'll stop doing
Shannon.
I'm going to stop.
You going to stop? Look, if nobody learned nothing else, Miss Patricia then changed a whole lot of women and men, I guess men.
Absolutely.
She had changed a whole lot of people's dating MO. That's all I have to say with that nugget. With that being said, pens and papers down. Class is officially over. Make sure you're connected with tonight's guest. And make sure you're connected with the show. Make sure you're connected with Shannon. All that information is on Define You Radio's Facebook page. Until next time, remember, your past doesn't define you. It gives you definition. It's up to you what you do with that. And stop asking people if they want to get married. I'll see you guys next week.
I know.
When we take care of our own hearts, we're also taking care of the people closest to us. So it's comforting to know that RWJ-Barnabas Health has New Jersey's most comprehensive cardiac care program, with access to top specialists, minimally invasive heart surgery options, and rehabilitation and wellness programs. So get your heart checked. It's as easy as visiting rwjbh.org/heart. RWJ-Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together. When we take care of our own hearts, we're also taking care of the people closest to us. So it's comforting to know that RWJ-Barnabas Health has New Jersey's most comprehensive cardiac care program, with access to top specialists, minimally invasive heart surgery options, and rehabilitation and wellness programs. So get your heart checked. It's as easy as visiting rwjbh.org/heart. RWJ-Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.